So I think if you look at the management of the debt and the deficit under Obama, he actually did the opposite. He inherited an economic crisis and a budget crisis where the debt as a deficit as a percentage of GDP was climbing to roughly 10%. He stabilized it at 3%, which in budget terminology is basically just the cost of servicing the national debt. So spending on new things wasn't adding to the deficit. That was way out of whack before COVID because the Trump administration with Congress did tax cuts and spending and didn't pay for hardly anything. And the deficit as a percentage of GDP was growing. And then it went crazy after the COVID crisis. So I actually think we left a very sustainable, stable fiscal path. The debt as a percentage of GDP is now much larger than it was at the end of the Obama administration. And even now, it's not an immediate crisis. If it continues to grow at this rate, it could become a crisis. But the debt as a percentage of GDP was not, it was in the mid 70s at the end of the Obama administration. It's now hovering around 100% of GDP. So the last 4 years have seen that get much more significant. And I think the danger is that that growth in the debt as a percentage of GDP could be used as an excuse to cut short what's needed to get the economy truly healthy after COVID. The right time to worry about the deficit and the debt is when we're out of this crisis. And you're already hearing some born-again budget balancers who didn't much care about the deficit when they were voting for tax cuts, but now we're saying the last relief measures would be an unfair burden to the next generation. I actually think what would be an unfair legacy to the next generation is a broken economy. And what we learned in 2008 to 2011, that maintaining stimulus long enough may be the difference between reaching our potential GDP or not, and getting job creation back to a decent level, in a matter of years more quickly.